Welcome to the November 4th, 2025 regular city council meeting. And tonight we have Pastor Pam giving the invocation. And we have feedback from
Tony's fan.
Oh,
I'll just say, sound like somebody's heartbeat or something.
let us pray. God, whose first actions were to breathe life into creation, we come before you trusting in you to breathe life into us still. We remember your promises of providence and presence, and we rely on the promises of grace and life. We live by the great commandment to love you with our whole heart, mind, soul, and strength, and to love our neighbor as ourselves. We thank you for the good people who make up our community of Muscatine. We remember our roots and the promises of welcome and hospitality this city has held for those who have come here over the decades, from places like Ireland and Germany, Mexico and Guatemala, the Philippines, Liberia, and Ukraine. And of course, we remember that we are on land whose original inhabitants were the Sauk, Fox, and Kickapoo peoples. We are a better, stronger city because of the things we hold in common and the things that make us unique. On this election day, we give you thanks for the privilege and right to vote for our leaders, and we pray for our own city leaders, Mayor Brad and the members of the city council and administration. We pray for Don and Jeff and Peggy, Nadine, for John and Angela and Matt, for Matthew and Tony and Cinda. We thank you for their leadership and their service to the citizens of our city. At this time in our nation's history, we know that there are people struggling to feed their children and themselves. And at times like these, we see just how a community can come together to love our neighbors. We are grateful to those who are opening their hearts and giving of whatever it is they can, their time and their resources, to make sure no one goes hungry in our town. Now, good and gracious God, help us to meet you here as surely as you meet us. Help us to speak and to listen. Help us to make good and wise decisions. And while some in our community pray to Allah or Adonai or Great Spirit or simply God, we ask your blessing upon tonight's meeting. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor Pam. Cinda, will you please do the roll call?
Councilmember Lampy,
Present.
Councilmember Osborne,
Present.
Councilmember Gordon,
Present.
Councilmember Brockert,
Present.
Councilmember Lewis,
Present.
Councilmember Conard,
Present.
Councilmember Gendrich. 6 present, 1 absent, Your Honor.
Thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. So next item is our request to approve. And Cinda, before we do this, do you want me to do each one individually or all together?
You can do them all together.
All together? Okay. Next is a request to approve the appointments to the following boards and commissions: Historic Preservation Commission, Pat Carver; Art Center Board of Trustees, Mark Butterworth; and Public Art Commission, Jesse Garcia. Is there a motion to approve this request as submitted?
So moved, Conard.
We have a motion by Councilmember Conard and a second by Lewis. Is there any discussion with council? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Request is approved with all ayes. Next item is to adopt the agenda. Does the council or administration have any items that you'd like to change or pull from the agenda?
Yes, sir. Item 18, we will not be needing closed session tonight, so we'll pull that.
All right. Is there any other items? Is there a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
So moved, Lampy.
We have a motion by Councilmember Lampy and a second by Gordon. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries with all ayes. Next item is communications. Is there anyone present who would like to address an issue that is not on tonight's agenda? I'll have you give your name and address. We'll give you 3 minutes.
Ralph Burr, 3015 Allen Street, Muscatine, First Ward. This is probably my 12th time I've been down here in 30 years complaining about the lift station on Hauser and Dawson. The last heavy rain, I wasn't able to come down, and I got to think, well, what am I going to tell them this time I go back? Every time I go and talk to the council, they never talk to me back. The last time I came to the council meeting was last year, February 15th, 24. After the meeting, I talked to Angie Lewis and Jeff Osborne. And during the summer, I spoke to Jeff a couple of times. Never got around to nothing about this sewer system. That's what it is. The sewer's back up in that area. Clear up to Lucas Street and clear down to John Deere. The whole area is back up. But I'm the only one that complains because people don't want to know that their sewer's back up. Back in 2015, I sued the city because I came home and had 7 inches of sewage in my basement. And I took it to court. And I had to hire a lawyer out of Bettendorf. And he hired an engineer to check the lift station. And the lift station is not capable of handling all that water that comes in. It has to be replaced. I'm telling you that tonight, because that's what the engineer said. And so that's why I'm here tonight. I don't want to have to come back and tell you all the stuff I've been going through. I've ruined my basement about 3 times because I haven't been home and the neighbors haven't been home. I got a valve, but if you're out there to close it, you're out of luck. And I'm getting too old to close that valve. So I hope you council do something about this. I hear you people talk about dogs and cats for hours and parking meters, but the sewer system, that's a city problem. It has to be fixed. That's all I got to say. Thanks.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that'd like to address an issue that's not on tonight's agenda? Council, is there any follow-up? Councilmember Osborne.
Can I get a copy of that engineering study that you had done? Oh, not right now, but,
Well, the city should have it, because I took it to court. The city should have it, so ask him for it.
when was the court date?
Well, I don't have it wrote down.
Like just what year, summer, spring?
I was going to say, if there's any information you could send, I'd recommend sending it to the city administrator initially, and then from there, he'll disperse it if he so chooses.
All right, Mr. Mayor, call Brian, I'm Public Works Director, and have him tell you all about this problem and what's going to be done about it. And they should have a copy
Nope.
of this.
I appreciate that, and any information we can. Is there any staff that has any? Sure.
Where's Dawson? I don't know where Dawson is.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I don't have a response at this time. This happened before I started with the City of Muscatine. I have heard of, Mr. Burr has been here several times. We have spoken in the past. I don't know, I don't think I have a copy of the report. I'll certainly look for it. If it was an outside agency report, then I don't know that we would have it. I don't think we've conducted one of our own. John Cook might be able to provide more information on that. We do have sewer issues in that area, but I don't know that we can pinpoint it directly what's going on. I think we have what we call I&I, which is inflow and infiltration in the sewer system there when we do have heavy rains. We did look at a potential fix to run a gravity line down Hauser Street as a future project. It is extremely expensive, so we have not moved that forward. Right now, all of our efforts are focused primarily on West Hill Sewer Separation, which is our main project and our mandate. And so, yeah, Mr. Burr did allude to that he has a backflow preventer in his basement. I believe that was mandated by the settlement with the city. I don't know much more about the settlement than that, other than because I said I wasn't here before. And so that's pretty much the extent that I can offer you at this point.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Councilmember Lewis?
City Administrator, could we charge you to just kind of manage this and get maybe some information back to us?
Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off, so I'm sorry. I think what we can do is we can look into this and come back with you with some kind of information that we have, what we've received, what we don't have, we'll try to obtain, and we'll work through that so we can understand the process and at least try and identify what exactly is going on so you're aware of it.
Great.
And will the sewer separation projects in that area impact this at all? No? Okay.
Why don't you come on back up? Yep.
This water that comes in the sewer system is from all them houses in that area, from Dawson clear to Lucas Street and up to, I can't think of the name of the street. See, when I moved out there, I wasn't even in the city limits. They annexed me after when I moved out there, it was a gravel road. But they was building these houses across the street back in 1995. So it's been 30 years since I've been here. I came to the city and told them, I said, the sewers are backing up, and they were still building these houses. And I went over and took a picture where they was tiling all these sewer basements into the sanitary sewer water. So the water from all them houses are going into that system, and they got 2 pumps, but there's a 7-inch pipe that goes from Dawson clear up to Fulham Avenue is how far they pump that water. And engineers said that water's coming in too fast, the pumps can't even keep up. Because every time I'd call down to the sewer station, they say the pumps are overflowing, they was full, they could do nothing. And the last time, several months back, when it flooded, I called up and they told me to call the police department. I had one of my neighbors, you got to straighten this out. I'm not going to want to have to come back and every time, I can't keep track of my sewer or go away. My daughter won't be able to close it when she moves into my house. It just has, to my opinion, it has to be replaced. Because the pumps they got now can't pump it out fast enough because it's pumping clear up to Fulham Avenue. That's ridiculous, yeah.
Well, I think we have enough information to look into. So thank you, Mr. Burr, for bringing it up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your persistence.
All right. Next is the consent agenda. The following items are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. Is there a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda, which includes item 10A, items 12A through B, item 13A, and item 14A with bills totaling $3,883,181.16.
So moved, Lewis.
We have a motion by Councilmember Lewis
Second.
and a second by Osborne. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries with all ayes. All right. Next is 16A is a resolution awarding a contract to Hire Construction, Inc. in the amount of $571,516.20 for the Muscatine Marina CDF relocation project. Is there a motion to adopt this resolution as submitted?
So moved, Osborne.
We have a motion by Councilmember Osborne
Second, Lampy.
and a second by Lampy. Is there any discussion with the public? Is there any discussion with council? Hearing none. Councilmember Brockert, how do you vote?
Aye.
Conard.
Aye.
Lewis.
Aye.
Gordon.
Aye.
Osborne.
Aye.
And Lampy.
Aye.
Resolution is adopted with all ayes. Next item is B, is a resolution accepting completed work by Visu Sewer LLC for the rehabilitation of underground pipe with cured in-place liner project and authorizing release of retainage in the amount of $6,277.20. Is there a motion to adopt this resolution as submitted?
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilmember Gordon
Second, Lewis.
and a second by Lewis. Is there any discussion with the public or council? Councilmember Gordon.
Yeah, I just have a question for Brian, because this is sort of on the newer side, and I just wanted your opinion on how you thought the process worked, and if you'll use it again in the future.
Thank you for the question. This is a fantastic process. We do love it. We will plan to use it again. We've used it a little bit in the past. It is less invasive than open cutting and doing, sewer work. We're in and out. I don't think anybody even noticed. I didn't get any complaints. I don't think anybody, truck rolls in on one end and the other end, and you're done. So It's less expensive overall. I mean, there is a cost to it, but the finished product is outstanding, and we have had no issues with it. So, yeah, we'll be bringing this back again in the future.
Well, thanks
We've
for
got a
bringing
lot.
that to us.
We got a lot more areas that qualify for this that we would love to do with this, and so we'll probably try to spend as much money as allowed to do this type of work.
And how long does it make the pipe last? How much longer?
A long time. You have any idea? 20 years? 20 years, my engineer says, and he knows everything, so,
Thanks, Kevin.
And no change orders. It was good.
yeah.
Good project.
Yeah.
We try.
Yep.
I can't take credit for that, but we appreciate that.
Any other questions, council? All right, thank you. Councilmember Lampy, how do you vote?
Aye.
Osborne. Aye. Gordon.
Aye.
Lewis.
Aye.
Conard.
Aye.
Brockert.
Aye.
Resolution is adopted with all ayes. Next item is C, is a resolution relating to financing of certain proposed projects to be undertaken by the city, establishing compliance with reimbursement bond regulations under the the Internal Revenue Code. Is there a motion to adopt this resolution as submitted?
So moved, Lewis.
We have a motion by Councilmember Lewis,
Second, Gordon.
and a second by Gordon. Is there any discussion with the public or council? Hearing none. Councilmember Brockert, how do you vote?
Aye.
Conard.
Aye.
Lewis.
Aye.
Gordon.
Aye.
Osborne.
Aye.
And Lampy.
Aye.
Resolution is adopted with all ayes. Next item is D, is a request to approve lease agreement with Marco Technologies for a new copier, printer, scanner for the Public Works Department. Is there a motion to approve this request as submitted?
So moved, Lewis.
We have a motion by Councilmember Lewis
Second, Gordon.
and a second by Gordon. Is there any discussion with council?
Yeah, real quick, Mayor.
Yep.
I know we brought this up as a potential cost savings and stuff, so I'm hoping it actually is one of those things. And then the follow-up question would be, are we considering that for other departments as well? That instead of buying printers and scanners, are we, looking at leasing them from other departments out there and stuff would be my follow-up question on that.
I can answer some of that, yes. I don't know exactly what the cost savings is off the top of my head, but the lease seems to be cheaper, and we are moving to that direction to try and minimize that cost. The life expectancy of these, really, when you carry it out over the lease term compared to what it would really be for us, you get past that 3 to 4 year mark and it really starts to nickel and dime you. So I think the lease is a little bit more effective.
Good.
But we'll continue to monitor that.
Okay, thank you.
Councilmember Lewis?
I'm just going to basically go off of what Councilmember Lampy said. It's like, I know we talked about this as a cost savings, so I'm glad to see that the recommendation's been made into action, so.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Request is approved with all ayes. Next item is E, is request to approve the issuance of a purchase order to Armory Equipment in the amount of $583,708.76 for the purchase of a new ECO combination sewer cleaner. Is there a motion to approve this request as submitted?
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilmember Brockert
Second.
and a
Osborne.
second by Osborne. Is there any discussion with council? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Request is approved with all ayes. Next item is F, is request to approve annual urban renewal report for fiscal year 24-25. Is there a motion to approve this request as submitted?
So move, Gordon.
We have a motion by Councilmember Gordon
Second, Osborne.
and a second by Osborne. Is there any discussion with council? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Request is approved with all ayes. Next item is a request to approve an updated hazardous materials response fee schedule. Is there a motion to approve this request as submitted?
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilmember Brockert,
Second, Osborne.
a second by Osborne. Is there any discussion with council? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Request is approved with all ayes. And next is an update and discussion on downtown parking options. City Administrator.
Thank you, Mayor. Real quick, Council, I would like to update you on what has transpired since the last council meeting. Staff, including Assistant City Administrator Keys, myself, retired Finance Director Nancy Leak, parking attendant staff, we all met to really kind of start this conversation about what the possibility of the impact would be to all these changes that were being discussed and thrown around. So I wanted to give you that update. We're moving forward. There are some unknowns that we're trying to get some data points on that I think we can talk about here in a minute. So right now, as it stands, we write about 8,000 tickets a year for the overtime parking tickets, which means the expired meter. We average about another 950 tickets a year for over the 2-hour parking. I'm sure there's some correlation between the number of overtime parking tickets issued for time and a 2-hour parking, but I don't have that data. We tried to estimate what that data is, and right now, currently, the meter attendants are tracking what that 2-hour chalking is per day. So we're starting to record that data to have an idea what that would really look like. As I look at it today, I don't believe we could ever really get to a revenue neutral based on the income coming in on the parking meters to the enforcement efforts. I don't think that'll ever be a revenue neutral, but what that really number is an impact that I would be guessing if I had to tell you that today. So one of the ideas that's been discussed is a stay order to allow for pre-parking in the downtown. Potentially, we could, if the council wants to go that direction, we could have that in front of you at the next council meeting. That stay order would really, what it would do is give us the ability to enforce the 2-hour parking in our downtown, but we would eliminate the need to feed the meter or feed the app, and to give a little bit of benefit to our downtown businesses as a show of effort. We're trying to really make a good faith effort as to what that parking situation would do. In addition, that would give us time to track and monitor what those 2-hour parking citations or violations would be, so that we could come back with a number and really get a number of what that budget impact would be to the general fund. The thought process in the past when we've done the stay, years ago, we put a little sticker over the coin shot. One of the things that we're looking at is instead of a sticker over the coin shot is more of like a holiday bag, a little bit more festive. That's the festive in me that's going to come out. And zip tie that bag so you can't see the QR code and you don't have to feed the meter. There was some discussion continuing today in what direction that looks like. We could have this in front of you at the next meeting and probably have it ready to go the following day on the 20th, I believe it was. If that's a direction that the council would like to go.
19th, yep.
19th. So just seeking a little bit of direction if we, in order for me to get a definite number of what that would be, I could use the data that we would do for the 2-hour enforcement. So if you wanted to do a stay order, my recommendation would be a stay order on the monetary meters or the money going into the meters in the app. But we would still enforce the 2-hour parking in all of our downtown areas, except for those spots that are either a 4 or a 10-hour one. We'd leave that alone. But we would do the normal parking on a 2-hour stay, and that would give us some data points along with a little bit of holiday cheer and a festive opportunity for us to put on some nice holiday bags and give the downtown a little bit of a holiday cheer. So if that's the direction you would like to go, we can have that prepared for you at the next meeting and ready to go the following day.
Council, is there any feedback? Is there any objection to what the city administrator just mentioned?
No objection.
No, I think it'd be great. And when you say the no on the meter, so you're talking both Second Street and the streets that run what I call north and south, so
Correct.
Sycamore, et cetera.
Yeah, I
et
believe
cetera
there's,
down there.
hold on, I have it right
3rd
here.
Street, 4th Street, all the north.
Everything's going to be
So
basically
everything
2
would,
hours.
everything would
meter.
there, except
Everything
for
would meter.
the extended time type guys. Yep.
Everything with a current 2-hour meter.
Yep.
Roughly about 300 meters somewhere in there.
Nice. Nope, I think it's a good idea.
And that,
Well, there's your direction.
And I like the
Councilmember Gordon?
festive bags.
that's right. I mean, because
Oh, you're
on
fine.
the 18th, you'll give us a target as to when it'll end.
Yeah, I
Stay
think,
order
oh,
isn't
sorry,
permanent, it's,
I'm sorry, yeah, I was thinking along the lines of like the 19th of, it's right after our council meeting to like January 3rd, somewhere there. And that can be, that's not set in stone, but we'd have to have it, if you have any input, please let me know, because that will be part of the resolution.
I think it's a fantastic idea, so I appreciate you and staff taking time and looking into it for sure.
And
Councilmember Connor?
those bags will say 2-hour free parking.
The bag will probably have a sticker on it.
Oh, yeah, it's just something that says
yeah.
2-hour free parking lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll make sure we do a press release. We'll get with our communications director and make sure all that goes out and to try and to have on there. I'm a little bit worried about weather. If anybody has an idea what the weather's gonna do, that might help me. But other than that, we'll. Cold?
It's going to snow.
I hope so. I hope we have ice for ice fishing. Colder the better.
No.
Builds character.
Very good. All right. Any other items or questions, council? Okay, so the next is we have an update on Art Center activities. Can I? What's that? Why don't you let me go first? I'll let you go first.
Melanie is on her way. She had a meeting at the Art Center this evening, so.
Gotcha.
She asked me to text her when we were getting close, and I saw the parking options. I thought maybe we'd be on that a little longer, so. She's on her way. If I can get my phone to open so I can tell you about my stuff. All right. Well, this is my first one of these things, so let's see how it goes. I know we're trying a new thing to do, right? As you know, my name is John Cook. I'm the director of your Water and Resource Recovery Facility, which includes the treatment facility down on Musser Street. It also includes about 24 lift stations. It includes the Muscatine Organics Recycling Center at the transfer station. We run the stormwater department as well, so that's a lot of the practices around here, stormwater practices, Sycamore Alley, the City Hall biocell across the street here, the Pollinator Park, Mulberry Retention Basin, and things of that nature. So we have a lot of things that we do around here. And we continue with our goal to consistently operate the Water and Resource Recovery Facility in a manner that protects public health, recovers available resources, and efficiently meets the requirements of state and federal regulations. So what are we working on now? Well, right now we have a big project coming on called the Electrical Assets Project. I think you've all heard about that. We've talked about that in the past. It will be replacing multiple electrical and mechanical assets at the treatment facility, as well as multiple lift stations. These are called motor control centers. They're the really big power systems that we have. Transformers, transfer switches, programmable logic controllers, all these big fancy words and things that we have. But this stuff's getting old and it needs to be replaced, as well as some pumps and motors, valves, and big safety platforms as well. So we're really pushing that. It'll be a very comprehensive replacement project that is a logical follow-up to the physical projects that we did in 2010. So we built a lot of physical assets in the ground, but we didn't do a lot of replacement of the electrical assets at that time. So this is kind of the follow-up to that big project. This will be one of the first CMAR projects. This is Construction Management at Risk, and we talked at length about that, I think, at one point, if you recall. These projects are now allowed in Iowa. They were never legal to be done this way by municipalities. So it brings the construction manager into the project at about 60% design. So they're actually involved in the rest of the final design of the project, which allows them to be a part of that final product that you have, as opposed to just handing them a set of plans and say, now bid on this. So when they bid that project, they give you a guaranteed maximum price, which means your price is more locked in and you have fewer and fewer change orders. So that's kind of the nice thing about this, is that we don't have those lovely change orders that we all like so much. So we're looking forward to that, and we're pretty much on schedule, maybe a little bit coming around there, but we think we should be doing that pretty well. We're also working on a new comprehensive safety program. We have sent someone to get OSHA training, and we'll be hiring a consultant to get the program off the ground. We have a great safety record. This was not predicated on an incident that we had or anything like that. We're just really safety conscious. We want to make sure that everything is going right, and we just want to keep it that way. And we'll probably be able to share that knowledge with other city departments, the program that we develop. So this is a good comprehensive citywide thing that we're going to be working on. I'd like to give a big shout out to Towboat Diving Services for their work at the Papoose Lift Station. You might be wondering, what is a diving service doing at a lift station? Well, we had a bunch of rock come in the tunnel. We think it came from an open storm sewer somewhere. And they used that rock to pack and support that pipe. And when we had that giant gully washer in June, it separated that pipe and all that rock flooded in, got into our lift station. And so, yeah, we had to send a diver down into this raw sewage coming in at 2,600 gallons a minute to facilitate removal of that rock so that we could get that out of there. So, so that was, the rate could not lift it. There was about 4 feet of rock in front of that, so we, physically had to have somebody down there to do it. We tried to drop a pump down in there and just let it run by itself without having somebody down there, and it just didn't work. We tried vac companies, we tried all different kinds of things to try to get this out of here. We finally just kind of had to bite the bullet and send somebody down. Luckily, there are brave enough people to do these kinds of things. So I'd like to thank Jeremy Hantz, Mike Hantz, the dude who actually went down the hole in the diving suit, Ronnie Goodwin and Dakota Shopa for their great work in very difficult environments. We were all there Saturday morning doing this, so we do weekend work too and stuff like that, so we are very dedicated to getting this thing done. Big shout out to my staff as well. They were there nights and weekends doing the work. Sheldon Fry, Sean Jacobs, and Clint Williams, and other people that were there working on the project, Jeremy Polson, David Boyson, and Jacob Ott. So if you want to see any pictures, let me know. I got pictures of the diver and everything else and on all the work that we did down there. So big thanks to everybody who worked on that project, got it done. If we had a more comprehensive lift station, we probably wouldn't have these issues. So that's something that we'll be bringing up sometime soon here as well, is how do we avoid these things in the future? Cost tens of thousands of dollars to get rid of some rock that came into our station, and if we had better lifts, if we had better bar screens or a better situation, we probably could have avoided that. So there'll be some of those issues coming up soon. Oh, and Melanie showed up already, so I can stop blabbering now.
Is there any questions
do I get to answer questions too?
Yeah, I have a couple.
Okay.
So, John, you mentioned the CMAR process. What do you think of the process? Do you think it's yielding a better project, a less expensive project? Can you elaborate a little bit on how you feel about
Haven't
the CMAR?
done it yet. Ask me in about 6 months.
Okay, so far the process is doing what you expected it to do?
Well, so far we're in a typical project. There's really nothing different about it. We have the idea. We hired the engineer. They're building the design of the project. So we haven't hired the CMAR yet.
Okay, so you have not hired the
No.
CMAR?
So we hope to do that in the next couple of months. We should be able to send out the RFP for that and then hire them. Once that process starts, that will be very interesting to see how that works. But yeah, I'm excited for the process, really.
Because this obviously is a very big project for you. You more or less shut your whole process down and then put the new stuff in place and flip a switch?
We can't shut it down. We never shut down. You gotta, what my favorite drummer, Neil Peart, said, playing drums like that is like doing math while what did he call it? I can't remember what he said now. I can't, shoot, I need that quote. I should have that quote on. Anyway, it's really difficult. You can't shut it down though. So we'll build everything out. You'll build all the electrical components that you have there. And then you kind of just pull the wire over and then you have a connection in the middle. You say, okay, throw this one and throw that one off and kind of start things up one at a time. You don't do it all at once.
Sure.
Yeah, so.
And your dredge?
The dredge is in the water. We're getting ready to go when we're ready to do that. We'll probably start
So
that.
your dredge is fixed up and running?
Yeah, yep, it worked. We actually cleaned out some of the stuff for that big ship that was here. We cleaned out a little bit of that mud out of that area to get that boat in there, so it's ready to go.
Okay, good to hear.
Councilmember Connor?
Yeah, 2 quick questions. I know budget's coming up, we'll see at that time, but on the morgue side, how is that progressing and on the revenue expectations?
It always pays for the department itself. The revenue that we bring in pays for that budget every year. We've been down a little bit. We had to clean out digesters, so we weren't taking in as much this year. So we may have to try to make some of that up. But we do know that we can take in more from one other client. So once we get some of this other stuff done, we're repairing the floor. We're putting in a pump over there, and that should be able to help us take in more stuff, more material. Yeah.
And
Then, of course, hopefully, we do have some a couple of other people interested in buying our gas. So that's when we sell the gas. That's really when the revenue is going to actually make a lot of sense.
we had talked about that a year ago, but that opportunity didn't show up, so
Yeah,
looking for other options, or how close are we on that?
Yeah, I've talked to a number of people. We're kind of letting the dust settle on new EPA managers and things like that. The EPA runs that, so we didn't really know what to expect with the new administration coming in. So some of that is kind of starting to filter out, and and they're just now coming to us saying things like, yeah, we're going to actually continue the program. So that was good news, but we just heard that last month. So this isn't anything that we could have really moved forward on before we had that information. So
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, thank you, sir.
thank you.
Thanks, John.
All right, next we have Melanie.
Thanks, and I apologize, I had to extricate myself from a retirement party, so that's part of what I'll talk to you about tonight is 2025, it's the 60th anniversary of the Muscatine Art Center, but it's a big year for our staff as far as changes. So we had Virginia Cooper, she was our registrar. She worked at the Art Center for 37 years. She retired in late late September. And then Pat Carver has worked for the Art Center also for 37 years, and her last day is on Friday. So we had a small gathering for the staff to see the two of them off. But one of the challenges when you're a staff like the Muscatine Art Center, where we're 4 full-time people and a handful of part-time people, is that those big changes are particularly hard, especially when you have people in the same position for a long period of time. We're very thankful for their years of service. So we've, for quite some time, have been trying to figure out exactly how to manage that staffing transition. Katie Lose, who had been our education coordinator, had in mind for, well, probably more than a decade, that making this transition into the registrar's position. And so that was our plan. We wanted to provide Virginia and Katie some time to overlap in that position and work on collections. And we identified some major needs in collections care to address. So more than a year ago, we wrote a grant proposal to the Roy J. Carver Charitable Trust, and they funded that proposal. So that enabled us to overlap the incoming registrar with the outgoing registrar for about a 6-month period. So Katie's position as education coordinator was filled by Rachel Mullins in February of 2025. And that freed up Katie to step into this collections management project. Of course, the Carver Trust isn't going to just fund our employee succession plan. We had some very critical needs for managing collections. For many years, we have struggled with our collections database. The old one was called MIMSI, and we have had in mind putting our collection online. And we had kind of fought with that company and tried to make that possible. And we eventually came to the conclusion that the best thing for us would be to actually transfer all of our collections data to a new database. And that's what we did. That's what this project was. It was funded by the Roy J. Carver Charitable Trust. So we made that transition, and we went to Past Perfect online. So that also took data that was sitting on the server out of the server into something more cloud-based. So John Krusenstein, our IT director, was very happy with that too, because managing our server at the Art Center is pretty complicated with that much data on it. So, you're talking about more than 20,000 records. So earlier this year, we transferred the data, and we knew that there would be some cleanup along the way. That's always what happens when you do these types of things. And hopefully, we're setting ourselves up very well for the future. There were quite a few factors that went into that going with Past Perfect, and one of them is that it really is the museum program that most museum studies programs are training their students to use. And there's a lot of museums in our area that use Past Perfect, and it's the Iowa Museum Association provides training and support for users of Past Perfect, you know, not in an official capacity, but just peer-to-peer types of support. So we completed that transfer, and now we're in the process of working with our web design firm to be able to bring the collection online, which has been a long time goal. It's going to be kind of a slow rollout process for us. One of the things that we have to do is really go into each record before we publish it, so that we make sure that all the data and information in there is, you know, how we want it to appear for public consumption. We are targeting our really featured collecting areas, so the Mississippi River collection, the Iowa Regionalist collection, the Mary Musser Gilmore collection, which is the artwork that was gifted by one of Laura Musser McCollum's heirs. So those are all the big name European artists in those collections. So we're kind of prioritizing that. At the same time, we're evaluating as we're doing this sort of deeper dive into collections to see if there are things that ought to be considered for deaccession. And the collections committee is reviewing all that, and the full board will review that later this month. So there's that piece is happening. We're also implementing a barcoding system. So that we hit a few just problems with the actual printing of the barcode labels, and we're thankful for the support from the IT department and have problem solved that. But that will be another piece that we'll add, especially as we're working with collections and physically touching them, to add those barcodes so that it's a little easier for us to quickly manage as things are going on and off view, instead of, you know, typing in a number with a series of digits, just being able to scan with the barcode. There's quite a few moving pieces for this collections management project. We did have support through the grant for a summer intern who was very helpful in helping to do some of the cleanup. The grant also included carts and trays and other things to facilitate movement of collections in our facility. Also some supplies to rehouse some of the collections. So I know we're trying to stay to 3 to 5 minutes, and I could talk for quite a while, but I'll see if you have questions about it. It's just been really a very important grant for us in this transition time with the staff, and to have the ability to, you know, have our incoming and outgoing registrar work together on this, and to also make some decisions about collections and collections care while we still had the expertise in-house. So we'll be, you know, writing this report to the Carver Trust to kind of close out the grant in the coming month or so, but it's been a great project. We're thankful for the support and for, you know, the staff and how they've also managed this transition and supporting, you know, not just the new people who are being added to the staff, but also staff members who are picking up new roles and that change.
Any questions, council? Councilmember Gordon?
Just a comment. The current exhibit, the Iowa artist,
Yeah,
I believe that was maybe one of Katie's first
that's right. Yeah.
projects. Phenomenal job.
Yeah.
She did a wonderful job. She learned well from the staff.
Yeah.
And it is a great, great exhibit. So, and she did well.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's if you're not familiar with it, the exhibit's called Midwest Icons. It features paintings by Grant Wood, John Stewart Curry, Thomas Hart Benton. So really important Midwestern regionalist. And then the middle floor features more the Iowa artists who often had some sort of connection to Grant Wood. So Marvin Cohn, and from this community, William Bunn, John Bloom. So it's worthwhile. It's really a collection we've worked to grow.
Councilmember Lampy?
Melanie, do you track your, I don't know, your attendance or your people that view? How's that year over year? How's that look? How's that compare?
This year to last, it's up. We've seen a lot of visitors come through. The boats have been, bringing a lot of people in, but all of our programming, we are hitting it hard all the time on the programming side. We just finished kind of a busy month with fourth grade field trips coming to see the Iowa the regionalist show, focusing on Grant Wood. So field trips have been high, just the quantity of programs, especially over the summer, and participation in other community outreach. So yeah, we haven't had a slow month for probably the last 18 months, I would say.
Good to
Yeah.
hear. And Mayor, when the boats do come through, do we know how many people from those boat tours go to the museum as a percentage of those people that go out and tour? Is it 100% of the people that come in on the boats go through the museum, or is it 20%?
No, they'll pick and choose which ones they want to go to.
Do we have
I was going to say, Councilmember Gordon's been very much part of it.
Yeah.
They're one of the 3 stops in the loop.
Good.
All the guests have the opportunity to get on the loop. So if you have 150, 270 people that are guests, I'm guessing most of the loop is there.
Goes
And
through
I know I didn't stop out to the Art Center one day, but I had to drop somebody off at Discovery Center. It was packed inside. So if you think a bus is probably 35, 40 people, and they're going around and just collecting. So I'm going to guess probably 2/3, maybe to 3/4.
Good.
Because part of them are out at Wildcat Den, which is an add-on, or at the Stanley Peace Center. But I think our loop is phenomenal. And we've added names of some of the artists that weren't on the original script, because people didn't realize we had a George O'Keeffe.
Sure.
And things like that, and they're like, and we have a massive one, and they're like, wow. They're
Yeah.
expecting to see, and they're not expecting to see a Grant Wood either.
Yeah.
So the joy and collection, what we see, and plus they get a stipend from each one,
Yep.
which is very helpful each day. We had 13 successful. We didn't have any flood situations this year. So thank you for hosting them.
Yeah.
They love you, the collection, and the variety of the 3 stops is great. They love the Pearl Butt Museum, big hit.
Yep. Good.
Yeah.
Discovery Center, I was shocked at how many people were out there.
Yeah, the number one thing that they talk about is the history. Everybody loves the history, and that's key.
Good.
Yeah, we recently hosted an event for the students who were here from Germany, along with their host families. And those German students, Grant Wood didn't mean too much to them, but when they went up in the house and they went, oh my gosh, you have a Matisse and you have a Van Gogh, they were astonished. So it's, for students coming from abroad to be just blown away by what is at the Muscatine Art Center, it's an amazing collection. And
Good. Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you, Melanie.
thanks.
Councilmember Brockert, is there anything you'd like to share tonight?
Sure you want me to?
Of course, I hope so.
Yes, I am.
She's back.
A couple of things. We had an event in town a couple of weeks ago where we lost one of our newer ambulances to inattentive driving. I don't know how many times I have sat here and ranted about people not paying attention when they're driving, running stop signs and all that sort of thing. Fortunately, no one was seriously hurt, but it's going to take us months and months to replace that ambulance, all because somebody had their head somewhere it didn't belong and did not slow down along with everyone else. The other thing is, I am very proud of one particular young woman in our community. Chelsea Harms was a recent graduate of Leadership Muscatine. She did Hair Heroes at Jefferson School that continues to go on. She has a business of her own, and she led an effort to put meals together for folks who don't have a whole lot of food And as we know, the SNAP benefits have been suspended for a little while. So she is a shining light in our community, and I see nothing but great things for her.
Absolutely.
Councilmember Conard.
Of the night, Your Honor, thank you.
Councilmember Lewis.
You're actually going to let me talk? Okay, a couple things I'm going to actually start off with. First of all, I have to say kudos to the whole community regarding stepping up. I know the mayor and I have been on a couple phone calls regarding the community and food banks and making sure that people are getting food. And I have to say one thing, it makes me very proud to be a member of this community. When all hands need to be on deck, most people rise to the occasion. The next thing I want to, have been asked to talk about is actually Flowers on the Avenue, who has this beautiful display right here in front of the mayor, which I'll get into why he has all that beautiful display, are actually having a Christmas open house Thursday, November 13th from 4 to 6, Friday, November 14th from 9 to 4, and Saturday, November 15th from 8 to 12. They have a visiting Santa on Thursday and Saturday. They have Shelley Lawson, a pianist, coming on Thursday. So please, and they ask to please bring a non-perishable food or hygiene product for the United Way of Muscatine. So the reason the great mayor has this beautiful display here is the mayor and I have had a gentleman's handshake since the first 4 years that he and I have been on council together, that every time the Badgers lose or the Badgers win, the other person would wear the opposing team's gear. And as you can see, the mayor likes to cover up the fact that Iowa did win again. And not only did
It's
they
cold
win,
in here.
what was the score, Mayor?
I focus on volleyball.
I believe it was 37-0. So as you can see, just to make sure that Iowa is represented and there is no hiding behind the jacket, Mayor, there you go. So I have not yet worn a Badgers outfit, just want to let you know. So go Iowa, go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Lewis.
You're welcome.
Councilmember Gordon.
I just want to say it's almost close time for the polls. There's still another hour or so. And I want to thank all the poll workers that have stepped up through our community and throughout America, because it wouldn't happen without the volunteers from both parties. Both parties have to be represented. We do that in peace. Don and I were in Fruitland today and had a great day. But please thank them. Thank our auditor. Tybee did a phenomenal job with her team, and it's a very important piece of who we are. So go to the polls. You have a little time left if you didn't make it so far.
Councilmember Osborne.
I guess another shout out to the folks that have come together to care for others in this community. I'm very proud to live in here. We've got free meal programs at Presbyterian Church, Pro City Outreach, Salvation Army, clothing programs, Jessica Closet, Seventh-day Adventists, Lighthouse, Goodwill, food pantries, Muscatine Food Pantry, of course, Pro City Outreach, Salvation Army, Island, United Methodist, more food pantries that are sprouting up, like pop-up shops. It's Sigla, Crystal, La Rosca, Muscatine Area Mobile Food Pantry, Durant, Wilton, West Liberty, Island, United Methodist. A couple of individuals have been out there on social media. Megan Kohler of It Takes a Village has been getting a groups together to prepare meals and take them to folks' houses. Chris Anderson has been working with the mobile food pantry here in town of Discover Muscatine. The list just goes on. I'm sure I've missed a few or many. Just a great community, a lot of outreach. We got the holiday open house coming up November 9th. That is an every Sunday thing for most of the stores downtown. They open up the first one. If you don't like the crowds, the second Sunday is a good one to go, and all of them afterwards as well. But the second one is a good one to go if you're more of an introvert type person and you still want to participate in the open houses. It's every Sunday all the way up through, some of them are even open up, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, all those kinds of things. It's really what can make or break some of these smalls. I'm excited about the experiment with the stay on the parking meters and getting some data and see what that looks like going forward. So many good things. One thing I was thinking here, as we've moved that podium, most of the people in the room only see the back of the person's head. I'm wondering, well, we have a screen,
Audience.
but, huh?
The audience sees the back
The
of the head.
audience, most of the people in the room only see the back of the person. I think this is within discretion. I don't know that council really needs to be involved, but if staff is interested in a couple of monitors up here or something like that, I think that might not be a bad idea to float out there and see if it's feasible and all that kind of stuff. I thought about that one too. However, usually that one's used for presentations. So we'd be in the same box every time somebody presents, but anyway, just food for thought. I don't know that it's a big deal, but maybe it's nothing, maybe it is, I don't know, but I know if I was in the room, I'd like to see the people that are talking.
Councilmember Lampy?
Yeah, a couple things real quickly. On my drive down here today, I hit, I think what you affectionately call, Kevin, is a plumber's ditch. There's a growing plumber's ditch in front of the museum and stuff as I was driving down. Not that I was driving distracted, but I spilled my Diet Coke as I was driving down. It's getting that deep and stuff as you hit it. So if you could take a look at that, would be great. Chief Keys, the hands-free law goes into effect when? When do we start writing tickets, following up on Nadine's comment?
Well, there was a 30-day or 45-day, like, warnings were being written. I'll have to follow up on that. So we will target that for GTSB to take a study and see where we're at. Like, our seatbelt compliance, I want to say is 98%, believe it or not. So we'll do a survey study on that, and I can come back to that. But
Because I think it would be a good thing, you know, from our communications department if we actually push that out a little bit and talk about safety, especially as we go into the holidays and everything that you mentioned. I know out there, I'm close to the bypass. Unfortunately, there's been lots of accidents on the bypass with those. Not that I can attribute to the hands-free or anything like that, but, you know, if we could, you know, do a press release or something around hands-free would be great. Yep. And then, Brian, on the decal in the bus stations, do you have any updates on that? How's that thing doing? I walked by the other day and it wasn't looking exactly the pristine that I was hoping it would be.
Yeah, we're working with the vendor on that. I don't know if it's a weather issue, you know, hot, cold type of thing this time of year. I noticed there were some bubbles. So Amy Fortenbacher, our transit supervisor, is working with the supplier to see what we can do with that. So this was our first one, trying to figure out, you know, how to make it work the best. So we'll update on that when I get more information, but
Okay.
we are
'Cause
aware of it.
we were planning on taking that to additional ones.
Yeah, if
so-
there's any others that are interested, we would do more if we have any participants. We haven't had any yet, but we do want to make sure that whatever we do works for all of them. So I'm not sure if it's the plastic that's existing or if it's the wrap that goes on there. There's something that's happening. So yeah, we are aware of that and working on it.
Okay,
Yep.
okay, thanks. And then, Peggy, to your point, my first time in the Fruitland Community Center down there, a very impressive building. So if you haven't been there or you need a space that is very well equipped and very well laid out and stuff, the Fruitland Community Center and that building is a very nice building. So congratulations to the Fruitland community. You have a great facility there, so well done. That's all I got.
Cinda? Chief?
nothing tonight, Mayor.
City Administrator?
I just got some notification on my phone, Mayor, that Wisconsin is now a volleyball school.
Wait, what was that?
Wisconsin's now a volleyball school.
I appreciate
He doesn't need your support.
They need
I
a
like-
sport.
Very important.
Well, I appreciate that. It makes me feel so much better.
Yep.
Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
I'm good, sir.
Okay.
That's enough.
Also, I mean, you mentioned Chelsea, and I have to mention we have another wonderful person that actually works for the city who we are blessed with that works at the police department, Whitney Pena. I know she's been in the news a couple times in October, and then I think just yesterday as well, just beyond the badge. with WQAD, and then also, and Tony, correct me if I'm wrong, she's leading the Iowa Association of Women Police?
Yes, she's been the president, she has another year left.
That's great. It's just good to get that out in the public and everybody's,
I'd like to keep it out of the public, I want her to stay at the police department.
I was gonna say, pretty cool though for Muscatine, absolutely. And I will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.